All right, let's get right into it. The sun is coming up over Bethpage Black. And folks, the stage is set for one of the most intense days in all of sports. This is it, the final day of the Ryder Cup. Everything, and I mean everything, comes down to today. We've got 12 head-to-head singles matches. There's nowhere to hide out there, no partner to back you up. It's just you against your opponent with the weight of an entire continent on your shoulders. Every single shot is just packed with pressure. And that brings us to the big story of the day. You look at that scoreboard. Team Europe, they're sitting on a really commanding lead. They are right on the edge of a historic win on the road. Now for Team USA, the task is just monumental. They are facing a huge deficit and need a Sunday comeback for the ages. But here's what's so interesting. The course itself is playing a major role today. After a week of some pretty tough weather, Sunday is just perfect. The sun's out, the wind's down, the stage is absolutely set for some aggressive, go-for-broke golf. It's like the organizers basically rolled out the red carpet for drama. They've moved up the tees, they've cut down the rough, they are practically begging these guys to attack the pins. A setup like this makes a wild comeback. Well, at least in theory, it makes it possible. It invites big swings and big moments, and that is exactly what we all want to see. But of course, the course is just the arena, right? The real story, the drama, it comes from the players. Because at the end of the day, this whole thing rests squarely on their shoulders. So how are they going to handle this final test, this incredible pressure cooker? Well, on the one side, you've got Europe's stars who have been nothing short of businesslike all week long. Rory McIlroy's putting stroke from mid-range, it looks absolutely automatic. You've got Åberg, whose towering straight ball striking just sets the tone. And Tommy Fleetwood, his control has been some of the best we've seen. They've been a machine and they look totally ready to close this thing out. But there is one little cloud hanging over the Europeans. It's a neck injury to Victor Hovland that actually kept him out of a match yesterday. And this introduces a fascinating and pretty rare point of uncertainty. So this brings this little-known rule into the mix called the envelope rule. Okay, so before the matches, each captain secretly puts the name of one of their guys in an envelope. If a player on the other team gets injured and can't play, that sealed name gets revealed and their match is just called a half-point draw. It's this bizarre strategic wildcard that could genuinely come into play today. And look, this isn't just a physical battle, it is deeply emotional. Just look at Rory McIlroy. He has been the emotional core of this whole event. And after taking jabs from the crowd all day, he drains this massive 25-foot putt, and you can hear him yell at them, "Shut up." It's a moment that just perfectly captures the raw fire he's playing with. Now you contrast that with a guy like DeChambeau. He doesn't fight the chaos. He absolutely thrives on it. It's like he siphons energy from the bedlam. And every time he unleashes one of those 190-mile-per-hour missiles off the tee, the grandstands just detonate. Two huge stars, two totally different ways of dealing with the pressure. And you really can't talk about Bethpage without talking about this crowd. It's not just background noise, it's a character in this play. The fans here are a relentless force. They are the definition of the 13th man for Team USA. I mean, to give you a sense of the scale here, we're talking about more than 40,000 people on the grounds every single day. Just try to picture that. The sheer volume of people is just staggering. And the commercial operation is just as massive. Want a premium beer while you watch? Yeah, that'll be $19. Thank you very much. And that might explain why they're projected to sell around 475,000 of them for the week. That is a whole lot of fuel for an already passionate and, let's be honest, sometimes rowdy atmosphere. So how loud is it really? Well, let's hear it from someone who's right in the thick of it. European player Shane Lowry, he just said the soundscape is through the roof. He said the USA chants just roll across the course like waves on a beach. And we should mention, this atmosphere has been visceral and not always perfect. The heckling has definitely crossed the line a few times, so much so that players and referees have had to step in and try to cool things down. That intensity from the crowd has really become a major part of this week's story. Pulling off an event with a crowd that intense is a spectacle all on its own. So let's pull back the curtain for a second and just look at the unbelievable machine that's making all of this happen. The golf is the main event, sure, but the behind-the-scenes operation is, wow, something else. The whole thing is powered by this massive global commercial footprint, anchored by these powerhouse partners. Their investment is what makes this giant tournament village, which is basically the size of a small city, even possible. And just for a second, think about the logistics of this. There is no on-site parking for those 40,000 plus fans. Every single person has to be shuttled in from miles away or come in on the train. It's a daily Rubik's Cube of just moving people. Okay, so let's bring all of it together. You've got the players, the incredible crowd, the course set up for drama. It is all leading to this, a final day where there is truly history on the line. So here are the stakes, plain and simple. For Europe, it is a chance to seal a historic victory away from home and maybe even sweep all 5 sessions on U.S. soil, which would be incredible. For the USA, the math is brutal. Win almost every match today or get ready for a very, very painful public breakdown of what went wrong. And that really brings us to the final thought here. So far, Europe has controlled the narrative of this Ryder Cup from the very first tee shot. They have just been a perfect blend of precision and poise. But this is Bethpage Black. And with its loud, passionate crowd and a course that's just begging for drama, it always feels like it's holding one last plot twist. So the question is, are we about to see it?